traditional sense. You don't solicit a form to stand outside of a professional. But a new thing that will start at that time at 3 p.m. Websites will be allowed to be launched. So it will kind of be like a website release, and a new thing is T-shirts being distributed this month on. Monday, February 20th, as I stated, candidates may begin speaking engagements at 5 p.m. until March 29th at 5 p.m., which is the last day of the campaign. Also, appendices A, B, C, M, N, O, P will be due in the SGA office by 5 p.m. Those are the primary appendices, such as if you're running for president, the form that says, hey, I'm running for president, student services director, vice president, etc., senator. It will also have other things due, such as what you give the, that's a bullet point. No, not the petitions, when you get the money, or cleanup. No, not CBR, the cleanup money. Bond. Yeah, bond. There you go. March 7th, the ballots will be posted on the SGA website, and candidates will be notified of any discrepancies within their application for election. March 14th, 5 p.m., deadline for any changes to the ballot. Spell your name wrong, college, etc. Also, if we have a referendum, I don't know the last time we've had a referendum actually on campus. Have we ever? Really haven't? Oh, okay. Well, if a referendum is to be placed on the ballot, editing, maybe this referendum will be made public. Friday, March 16th, registration complaints. It's a deadline for registering complaints with the referendum. March 25th is the first day of campaigns. This is on a Sunday, but it is not a traditional first day of campaigns. One thing that we really wanted to change this year, because ever since I've been here, ever since Tom's been here, forever, we've hated the break in the middle of campaigns after the weekend. Kills momentum, people get annoyed, kills, morale within the campaign. So what we're doing this year is campaigns start on Sunday the 25th at 5 p.m. You can have a campaign kickoff or start doing whatever at 5 p.m. on Sunday. It will go until March 29th, which is the Thursday at 5 p.m. So you're given 4 full days, part of Sunday and part of Thursday. Election days will be Wednesday, March 28th and Thursday, March 29th. March 30th, the final CBR will be due. The way the CBRs will be broken down is the final CBR will be due on that Friday. The 28th, that Wednesday, the second CBR will be due. And on that Monday, the 26th, the first CBR is due. So the last CBR will be due actually after elections are over. So there's a full cycle of spending and income and other expenditures that can be reported on the CBR. Unlike last year where it was due noon on the last day. Friday, March 30th, campus cleanup at 4 p.m. And April 3rd is the final day for any validating of the results. All the way up until April 3rd at 5 p.m. the results are unofficial. So that is the dates. So a couple things to mention. I already mentioned the interest meetings. 2 of them are not mandatory. 1 of them is mandatory. The mandatory one, you have to have an excuse by 5 p.m. I'm on page 4, by the way. Definitions, campaigns, campaign material, everything, all of this is exactly the same. I know for a fact all you guys have read the election packets that are already elected, right? Good, perfect. A couple of things that we need to find. Qualifications, this was a big one. Qualifications, page. All right. So we came to the discussion that we allowed people to run for residence hall seats without them actually living there, but we did not allow people to actually run for seats within an academic college without being there. For example, for free business, you can run for business unless you could show the election commission that you're already being advised. And that was just a small stipulation within Section 2, Part B that we just took out, which is the stipulation. You don't have to show that you are going to be within that college. If that is something that the Senate chair and Vice President of Senate should keep up with, once Senate is actually in session the following year. I've mentioned the T-shirts. Also, a change on page 20. Limits on donations and expenditures. We've changed the spending limit, and it was $7,250 last year. It was actually $7,000 this year. Another thing we actually shifted was the bond went from $500 to $750 to make it more serious. Essentially, the money hasn't changed at all. If you were going to spend $7,250 and $500 bond, you're still spending the same exact money. The thing is that we actually looked through the voter turnout numbers for the last 20 years, and we look at the budgets. There's absolutely no correlation between the budget and how many voters turn out. I mean, one year in 1996, there was like 1,800 voters, and then in 1984, it was 7,000. And the budget was probably way smaller back then. Then you also have years where the budget was 5,000 for an extended period of time. It would fluctuate anywhere between 7,000 and 3,000. So there was literally no correlation whatsoever between the two topics. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the major changes of the packet. Everything else can be found in there. I'm not going to go through the appendices. You know how to read them. They're very self-explanatory. We didn't change anything about the appendices. Name, date, position, party, signature, etc. Overall, question?
Do you think that maybe like the changing of the rules of like the t-shirts and not really campaign shirts, because I guess that's the only one. Do you think that could be problematic for campaigns? Because a lot of people will be like, oh hey, can I get a t-shirt? And oh whoops, they already got a t-shirt. And it would be easier to kind of hide t-shirts if you went over budget. Like I feel like there'd be a lot of issues that could arise with that.
So this is, yeah, guys, this would be technical questions now, so it's yes, no, numerical questions.
Well, on the subject of t-shirts,
I like how you went exactly with yes, no, numerical there.
Sorry, but on the subject of t-shirts, I'd like to defer answers to either Dean Cathy or Todd Skelton, because they know a lot more about that subject than I do. So,
Mr. Skelton?
Okay. Yes, no, numerical.
Motion to suspend.
Okay, motion.
We
Yeah.
will,
Motion to
point of information, we will get to discussion after this. Okay, so we're just going to do all of it in one.
all right, so do you want to yes?
Can I rephrase my question?
Yes.
Do you feel that by allowing campaigns to solicit their t-shirts and kind of like do this new like kumbaya of sorts with like between the twos, whatever, do you feel that it would be easier to hide like budgeting, like listen, okay, do you think that it would be like handing out t-shirts earlier would be problematic in any way?
No, it should.
Technical question. Any more technical questions? Okay. Just to let it be known, we're going to have the execs going to suspend the rules on our own, and we will be voting on first consideration tonight. So we'll now move into discussion, and we are changing it up for discussion, where it will be discussion questions, so open-ended questions, and then we'll be pro and con after that. So. We'll start, Ryan.
This can be directed to Dean Cathy and Todd again, because it's about the t-shirts. My understanding is that, just from the past, is that kind of like all election materials and I guess like the handouts kind of went out through campaign, or during campaign week. I like the idea kind of behind the t-shirts of giving it out because it raises awareness. The problem with that though is it takes the awareness away from the week, like the actual week of the campaign week itself. Also, I think that it's starting in the, that's kind of putting more pressure on campaigns to kind of have an output of spending on t-shirts, because they're going to have to supply a lot more to get their name. And so there's going to be a higher spending there, so their budget's going to be on more of t-shirts or from the front end, and then less on what it should be. And I mean, that's one of the biggest criticisms of the SGA campaigns in general. I just feel like that's compounding that situation.
The rationale was to talk about criticisms. First, the biggest one is that students say, oh, SGA, they come out during campaign week, they try to give me all this stuff and just get a vote. And then we don't see them for 365 days, and then we see them again the next campaign season. And so that's the biggest criticism. And so by doing this, we have an extended period. Is it 5 weeks between speaking engagements and election day? It's about 5 weeks or so. And so by doing speaking engagements where you're going and talking to student organizations, an important part of that was being able to say, hey, check out our website, and then they can find out information that way. Because one of the biggest ways that the thing that you need to provide is access for these students to find out what you're running for, find out who's on your campaign, and it's not a secretive process where you can go talk and you can't really give them anything to follow up on. And then some T-shirts on top of that, just to raise awareness. And so you're seeing, whatever campaign X, you're seeing their T-shirt for 5 weeks, and it's not overly intrusive. You're not like bombarding people on the walkway. And moreover, this is the packet says that you may give out T-shirts, and so a campaign can spend whatever amount they want on T-shirts. There's still complete flexibility for each campaign, and so it's up to your budgeting and strategic discretion to decide if you want to give out 30 T-shirts or give T-shirts just your, I guess we'll do strategy here, but just to your exec and Senate candidates, or if you want to give out a bunch. How do you allocate between those couple weeks there and then campaign week? And so we really wanted to avoid just 4 days of just hammering students. They don't really have time to find out other things and really learn. Hey, you're on this campaign. They see the T-shirt and they can talk 3 weeks in advance. They've never met the candidates because they're not in the student organization, but they can talk to somebody in class rather than waiting to see them on the pedestrian walkway. Does that answer?
Yeah, do you mind if I kind of ask have a follow-up?
Sure, go ahead.
I get kind of how awareness can be raised, and you feel like awareness will kind of be raised kind of in advance. But I feel like the T-shirts are going to kind of lose a lot of their, I don't know if it's appeal or luster is the right word, but definitely effectiveness if you're letting them out a month early. I think that kind of the point of getting the idea of the SGA campaigns out is, I guess, is completed by allowing the websites to be up, because that's where they can see them. That's where they can really see the campaign. They're not seeing the T-shirt. But I mean, with that being said, I don't want to be too harsh over a T-shirt.
Yeah, no, you're fine. We've debated this for a long time, and there's a balance between this, but I think we fell on the side of going more towards, the T-shirt is a brand, really clear campaign, and so it's out there in advance. Presidential campaign right now, everything's out there. You can buy a T-shirt over a year in advance, and so this is just goes to awareness and branding your campaign, and you need more than a website. It takes a lot more to get somebody to log into a website than it does to look around the platform and see, 2 different campaign shirts or 6 different campaign shirts, whatever the year has.
Let me throw something there real quick, because I feel like I may have not been clear in my explanations. As Ms. Owens mentioned, the kumbaya of sorts. The SGA kickoff and the giving away of shirts, those 2 concepts were actually brought up independent of each other. SGA kickoff was, the way all of this came about was because we were talking about the excitement of campaigns. I was talking about this, I was talking about it, but all of us pretty much agreed. It felt like, especially our freshman year, it was just really exciting. A lot more energy, a lot more passion, a lot more everything. So these ideas kind of came up independently of each other. The idea of the SGA kickoff was not, hey, come out here and give out shirts. It was, hey, you're about to start speaking engagements. Who are you going to go talk to? Greeks and student organizations. What about the students that are not involved in either one of those 2? That was more of a, hey, let's go to presidential and let's go talk. Then the idea of shirts came up. So when you think of those concepts, try to make them independent of each other instead of like one big group. Sorry.
I like to make a point of information. As a part of the election commission, I am really proud of this packet and everything, but just remember, this is being presented just like a bill. If you'd like to make an amendment or if you don't agree with something in it, you're more than welcome the next time that it's presented to make a motion to change an amendment. And it will have to be approved by the election commission, but that's an opportunity that you do have to make changes if you don't like something that's in the election packet. Just so I'm clear.
especially fraternities, like they made up a very small percentage of the voting, I think, last year. I have to double check on my information on that. But I feel like sometimes we're all really excited about the campaigns because we're in SGA, but I feel like at the end of campaign week, people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sick of these people handing me t-shirts, drilling their like campaign and impossible points in my head. If I never have to see another t-shirt in my entire life, I would be thrilled. So I feel like this could have like kind of implications of people actually having the opposite effect. So I feel like if we have like the Twitter go live or the Facebook go live, the website go live, like that's a way to get the brand out there in a different way. And I just feel like it could be so much easier for a campaign to sort of like kind of be malicious about handing out t-shirts and not actually recording them. I don't know. I would like, so my like I like to make a motion to make a plan to take off the t-shirt part, but keep the website live and the actual thing between the two campaigns.
And point of information along with that, I've thought about doing the same thing. And the section that would be deleted with that amendment is section F, subsection 3, subsection A, subsection 6. We delete that phrase.
And then it would also be this page here.
Just to add on to something you mentioned earlier, you said Greeks are a small portion. You actually.
So there's a motion to amend it.
Can the
is the
motion?
motion friendly? Okay, election commission collectively? Yes.
I believe it.
Does it need to be passed through election?
Friendly or not, it doesn't really friendly election. Had that some sort of
Okay.
if we have it.
That being said, I mean, we could do pro con pro at this point and then go into voting, but it's not going to be without the amendment.
If there's a motion for amendment on the table, right, that has to be in the first.
Okay. So that being said, we will have to table this bill until the amendment is discussed by the election commission. Table this document.
No,
Okay.
Just FYI, guys, if you're going to propose an amendment and this is essentially a like what we said before, a working document, you propose that motion for that as it, you know, as you presented a motion or presented an amendment for any other bill or resolution, and then that has to be voted on by you all. Has to be approved by you all. Has to be as a non-friendly amendment.
Okay. So we're treating it as a non-friendly amendment.
Yes, you can't do an amendment to the legislature.
So it's non-friendly. So the situation we will go into is we will allow, it's a formal amendment. So we will allow for a discussion by the amendment proposer. So Sam, you'll be able to have, we'll say a minute to discuss why, and then if anyone off the election commission would like to debate Sam, they may for a minute in addition to that, and then we'll do a simple majority vote.
Okay.
What's up, Sam?
All right, so regardless of voting demographic, whether you're Greek, non-Greek, in an organization or not, I feel that by allowing the distribution of these t-shirts almost, 5 weeks prior to campaign week would just create further unhealthy competition between the two campaigns, and it would also create an overall attitude of apathy toward SGA as a whole. I feel like as campaign week goes on, we hand out more campaign materials other than just t-shirts. Students are like, get out of my face, I don't care. So I don't want that to happen. And I feel like it's totally sufficient enough by letting the website go live, maybe having like the ad in there, maybe having like the Facebook and the Twitter go live. I think that's a great idea, and I'm so glad that they added that. But I just don't think that the t-shirt should be added because I feel like it could create implications that would not be able to be fully observed by the election commission.
Okay. Now.
As a member of the election commission, I just want to say we did think this out quite thoroughly, but we did ignore that point. My friendly amendment to your amendment
have the amendment.
Also now it's fine.
Okay. Okay, guys, so we'll now have the amendment on the table because it's friendly, so we will now vote with a simple majority if,
We have a hand.
yes.
How do you say those? I actually think the spirit was somewhat in the middle, as I recall, and I agree. This is why we go over the packet, because I don't think everything was in there. But I think the thought was to allow candidates to have T-shirts. That really fit beyond just exec. We had a couple observations. The thought was voter turnout last year was the lowest it's been in the last 10 years. We need more visibility. That's a bigger deal than whether we have a successful campaign week or not. It's whether people know what's going on, they're excited about it. It was going to be about big kickoff to get people energized early on. And then it was, if we're doing a kickoff, wouldn't that be more visible if people were able to wear T-shirts who are running? And then the thought was, campaigns are already spending all this money on T-shirts, so allow them to get more of their money worth out of them by being able to wear them for a month. The last piece would be a couple last pieces. It would parallel the website in that it does not constitute campus clutter, because it's on one's person, it's not being handed out. And as such, I think the spirit of what we were trying to get at was that ideally campaigns wouldn't be handing them out in the pedestrian mall, but that those who are actively running with a campaign could be wearing them during that period, i.e. wearing your website, so that people will know you're a candidate, you're getting more money worth out of your T-shirt. And that was what I felt like I was hearing in there, and I don't think that quite was it. It's kind of in the middle of what, so not doing it at all, but just doing it to execs.
Okay. We're trying to figure out how many layers deep we are right now.
Point of procedure. Okay. I'm sure a lot of you are law struck. Okay. So I'm just going to tell you what's happened. Okay. Sam motioned to amend the election packet to delete what I said earlier. I won't read it again. But essentially to delete the part about the T-shirts from the election packet. Okay. Because that was deemed a formal amendment to the election packet, we had to go into a round of pro debate where Sam presented, and then a round of con debate. Okay. Now, since both of those have been satisfied, and by con debate, it's not con debate to the election packet; it's con debate to Sam's proposal. Okay. So now we're going to vote on Sam's original amendment. If there is another amendment instead of the original one, then that can be raised after this. Does that make sense?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Why was Sam's amendment unfriendly, but Maria's was friendly?
It wasn't.
Oh, it was, no, okay, that's how loud it was. Okay. All right.
Okay. So we'll now do voice votes for
Point of
Sam's.
information.
Yes.
Is Sam's amendment still the original amendment, or is it the amendment that Maria has proposed?
So we're now going to vote on Sam's amendment.
Was there an additional?
We're doing it one of them.
Motion.
Okay. Is there a second for the motion to vote? Okay.
I withdraw my amendment and I motion to approve Maria's amendment.
Okay.
Maria, can you repeat the amendment? Yes. I like what Maria said, and I would like to add candidates.
Okay. Can we have clarification on the amendment we're voting for?
Yes. The clarification on my previous amendment to take out the T-shirt part altogether has now been amended to only executive members of the campaign and candidates that are running on the campaign will be allowed to wear the T-shirts prior to campaign week.
Okay.
That is the amendment that we are proposing. Is everyone cool right now?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the motion on the floor is to allow candidates and their executive council to wear the T-shirts on the date of February 19th until campaign week, where they can then March 25th, and they can then hand out the rest. Okay. Now we will vote on that amendment just to go through it. So let's just do a voice vote. So all those in favor, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay. It passes. So we now have, this will now stay, and we will go back through and reformat it at a later time, saying that executive members can now wear their t-shirts starting on February 19th, 2012. Okay,
That includes candidates, correct?
including candidates, because they are technically on the executive.
Includes everyone who registered with us at the mandatory meeting earlier.
Okay.
So we know now we know exactly how many t-shirts we are about to give out beforehand. And anybody not registered by that day, they'll become as well.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to say this.
Is this a question?
Yeah.
Point of clarification.
Well, is the date that campaign week, is that the week after spring break?
Yes.
Good. We're in discussion still, so if you guys would like any questions surrounding,
And
open-ended questions.
just to throw that out, we can't move it back. That's Easter week. We can't move it back after that because it's a miracle.
All right, then I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not even gonna-
Good. All right. So any more questions from the floor? Okay. We will now move into pro-con-pro debate. So is there a pro from the floor? Oh, come on, guys. Pro. Yeah.
A pro. I feel like the election commission has given thorough thought to this packet. I don't see any objections, minus the one that we just cleared up. And I think that overall this packet is going to help us increase our SGA participation and outreach to the community. So I am for this packet.
There's one, other than the t-shirt thing, there wasn't other really big change to the packet. There's in the finance provision, there's an exception now where GSS campaigns, if you run GSS, it's only president, vice president, you don't run senator or something like that. And so the idea is making it a little more friendly to graduate students. And so it's an exception to where if you have a campaign where it's just those two candidates, and then you obviously can have, some supporters, et cetera. Then you can have a $4,250 spending cap. And then your bond is also lower, so you're not operating under exactly the same restraints as a full campaign that has 3 executive candidates and, with 80 Senate candidates. So you're not spending as much money, and if a GSS campaign ever spends over $4,000, then I don't know if they're idiots, but anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna try it next year. So that's one other big thing. And then we've written into the packet, there have been ideas, it hadn't happened, but it's been pitched before that your traditional campaign would run with a GSS candidate. And so in effect, 2 campaigns could be merged. So the packet expressly prohibits allowing you to try to combine a $7,000 limit with a $4,000 limit and go over. So it's expressly precluded. If a campaign wants to say, hey, we want the graduate student X to run with us on the party and it's 4 candidates, then you're all 7,000.
I was just going to make another point of information really quickly that we didn't go over. Another significant change in the election packet was that during election week, you're now allowed to use posters as a form of campaigning. And before, it's never been any paper products, anything like that, but you're allowed to use posters. So I thought I should say that.
I have one more point. Painting on a strip is prohibited. No off-campus painting, advertising, whatsoever. It causes nothing but problems every single year. You can't police it. You can't do anything with it. And your contracts with some business are actually not legally binding. So it's strictly prohibited. But you get that poster.
Okay. All right, so we're now at the point for a con. Is there a con from the floor? Okay, all right. We will now move, motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we will now move to the voting process, and we're going to do so by a hand vote. So all those in favor of the election packet, please signify so by raising your hand. Okay, let's count, guys. That's a lot.
Why don't you count the people who are against
I
it?
think it's, I
Count
think
the
it's
people
unanimous.
that are.
Okay, please lower your hand. All those please signify so by raising your hand. Okay. Any abstentions? One abstention. Okay, we can do the math there. So, okay. Then, in the opinion of the Executive Council, the election packet passes first consideration and will be presented again next Senate meeting on November. All right.
That concludes my announcements. Thank you.
Okay. I need to do these. We now have 25 more minutes. So we are going to, there's 4 bills on the table, so let's restrict first presentation, or second presentation to 5 minutes apiece. Okay. So bills 0102, or 0112, 0412, 0512, and 0612. We're going to restrict discussion and voting to 5 minutes on each of those, so all of them get a second presentation. If we are not able to facilitate all those bills, they will then be moved again to old business in the next Senate meeting. So will Ryan Ray and Nick Jackson please come up to have discussion on Bill 0112. And we are in discussion, so if there's any discussion questions from the floor, please raise your hand. Okay, no discussion questions from the floor. Okay, all right, with that, then we will then move to Pro-Com Pro. So is there a pro from the floor? Does everybody remember what this bill is? All right.
Just give a general idea of having a town hall is just one of the many steps that we have to do as SGA to increase transparency, increase student contact with the administrators. By having it, in essence, by having a town hall, we are fulfilling a lot of the complaints that students have with us and a lot of the responsibilities that we have as an organization. So, I mean, I really don't see how having a town hall could be to the detriment of our organization or the students that we represent.
Okay. Is there a con from the floor? Diane?
My only con is I don't understand why we're making a bill to create a SGA town hall instead of just maybe like a committee getting this together and our senators showing up. I don't see the necessary point in having a bill, but that's my only con. No.
It's just as a suggestion from the Senate body, you may or may not be a part of a student services committee that can do something like that, just to pass along to our student services committee. Now, although it could be done in the manner you presented, it just kind of shows that they are really concerned with this, and it says to our executive student services groups that, hey, this is something we need to do.
All right. Is there a pro from the floor? Someone just had house.
I'm for this bill. I think any way we can get to the students is that's something we need to do. Students say we're not transparent enough. If we start doing things like this, we can't really say that anymore. So.
Is there a con, Sam?
Well, the way the bill is worded right now, it's extends invitation to the administration, not the student body. My only concern would be that the administration would not have ample time to meet twice a semester.
Point of information, we've met with Dr. Chief, and he is open to, if he cannot be there, sending somebody from his office for 2 meetings a semester.
Is there a pro from the floor? Okay, is there another?
I feel like this really increased visibility on all spectrums and all those people who are just not from Snowball to have a way to voice their opinion.
Is there a con from the floor?
I would really like the town hall idea. Obviously, the GSS one today was awesome. I would maybe think we might want to do once a semester, just because SGA did a forum a couple years ago recently,
PDF file, so we're not going to be able to change it right here, but that will be changed to 1 time per semester, allowing for that amendment to pass. Okay, we will now go into the author's summation.
Okay, guys, thank you for hearing this proposal. I'm glad that most of you seem to be behind this. If you have any questions regarding the logistics plan, please don't hesitate to talk to me or I. So thank you.
Okay. We will now vote on Bill 0112, a bill to create an SGA Town Hall by Nate Jackson and Ryan Ray. So all those in favor, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. All those in favor, please signify so by raising your hand. Okay, raise your hands high, guys. Okay. All right. Please lower your hands. Okay. All those opposed, please signify so by raising your hand. Okay. Any abstentions? All right. In the opinion of the Executive Council,